Ah, The Last Airbender. That name has become synonymous with Nickelodeon's deepest, most mature cartoon of all time. But we are not talking about that one today. Instead, we are going to talk about its sequel series, The Legend of Korra. I know there are a lot of people with a lot of opinions on this show, but to be honest, Korra's pretty good. It's just not Avatar is all. I think if I had it my way, I would probably change up the two major things with this show. But this isn't a review video. This is a debunking video. But you know, I have been looking for a third topic on this channel. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna debunk all of Korra's main villains, one for each season. For the most part, Amon is by far the most interesting villain in the world of Avatar, as he claims to be a non-bender, bending being the rigid power system in this world where people can bend air, water, fire, or earth. In fact, that's his whole stick. Not only can Amon go toe-to-toe with the best without any bending, he also wants to create a world without any bending via taking bending away from others. Now here's the first two reasons why Amon is complete bull. He's a liar and a hypocrite.
He uses blood bending to do it. Amon is a waterbender.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Now, for those of you who don't know, way back in the day, Amon's father, Yakon, was a ruthless crime boss who ruled Republic City's underworld with a forbidden sub-bending art, bloodbending. Bloodbending is when a waterbender bends the liquids in your body and can turn you into a human pretzel if they want. So basically, Amon learns bloodbending from his dad, grows up to head to Republic City. He creates an anti-bending movement so he can overthrow the Avatar, and he hates bending because, you know what? I don't think that was ever fully explained. He didn't seem to have a problem with bending in the flashback. Must have came in later down the line. But you know what there's no wrapping your head around? Amon's goddamn plan.
What did you say?
Well, if Republic City did get rid of all bending, there would be a lot of problems, not to mention a huge blackout. The city itself is powered by hundreds, if not thousands of firebenders using lightning generation. So no firebenders equals no power for the city. And if you're still not convinced, did you not just hear what I just said? This entire city powered by benders and not fossil fuels? That's a renewable source of energy if I ever heard of one. All you need to do now is give those benders a fair pay. How hard can that be? I haven't even mentioned the practical uses of waterbending healing, or how bending is such a huge part of the four nations you'd be practically taking away part of their culture. But sadly, we don't have enough time, and now we must talk about Unalaq. So yeah, a lot of people hate Unalaq. Hate with a burning passion, some might say. I personally have no strong opinions on this guy. To me, he's just mid. Now, in case you need a refresher, Unalaq once belonged to a group called the Red Lotus. So skipping a bunch of lore, the Red Lotus wants to unleash this dark spirit called Vaatu to overthrow the Avatar for reasons I'll get into later. However, Unalaq betrays them and wants to fuse with Vaatu to bring true spiritual balance to the world as the Dark Avatar. And I mean, are you sure the Spirit of Chaos was the best one for the job, buddy? Also, for some reason, he became this thing.
Now, 10,000 years of darkness begins.
I know that's a little out there for this series, but damn, giant monster battles will always be cool. So yeah, not a lot to debunk about Unalaq, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the Red Lotus plan instead. Now, the Red Lotus is a group opposed to the Avatar, and their rivals, the White Lotus, who, fun fact, are based on a real-life Chinese rebel group of the same name, from 1093 to 1121. Now, the Red Lotus's logic in all this is that order won't bring order, but chaos will bring order. Now, the Red Lotus, fictional or otherwise, are not the first people I hear talk about this. But each time I do, I am baffled by this backwards ass logic. That's like saying more fossil fuels will solve global warming. Now you can say that the wilderness or nature is meant to be wild all you want. Well, if that's the case, I would like for you to explain some forms of order in nature for me, such as the food chain or codependent animal relationships.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
But no villain in their group can be more crazy than the next villain on this list, Zahir. Now, I'm sure for many of you watching, the moment I said Zahir, you probably went, yeah, everyone says Zahir is their favorite villain, but I'm sorry, I do not like the guy.
Move this man!
Now, hold on, let me have a chance to explain myself first. Now, to be fair, Zahir is a great example of an airbending villain. Despite not originally being an airbender, only becoming one after harmonic convergence, he has a great understanding of air nomad culture. But due to his radical ideals, he takes their beliefs in a dark way that they never intended. But yeah, still not a fan of this guy, because just like the other villains on this list, his plan would have made things light years worse. Now, I obviously don't have to remind any of you of this, but for as long as people can remember, the Avatar has always been good and a force for balance. So why is it, after years of understanding who or what the Avatar is, the moment this guy shows up, everyone becomes paranoid of the Avatar and their power? If you'll forgive my brief tangent here, why oh why has this become a thing? To take these iconic and well-meaning characters with amazing powers and turn them into these sinister weapons of mass destructions and have everyone be paranoid of them even though they would never do that.
Use your head.
This is especially true for the Avatar, who's supposed to be the embodiment of Rava, the spirit of light and order. And we know this is the case because no one else in the history of the world of Avatar has had a problem with the Avatar. Even Avatar Korra, who was said to be the worst and shortest lived Avatar of all time, actually fought a secret war against dark spirits, suffering severely and mentally for it. But to be fair and getting back on topic, I think the real problem with Zahir is the same problem with Thanos. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a sympathetic antagonist. Quite the opposite. Keep in mind these are the same people who wrote Zuko.
Of course!
I don't think there's any denying how radical Zahir's ideas are, but they're trying so hard to make him seem human, you'll probably side with him no matter what he says.
Red Lotus? Are you related to the White Lotus?
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Look, I know there's still a lot of Zahir fans out here, but I just want to say my piece. If you want to leave any of your thoughts on any of the villains in the comments section, that's fair, just keep it civil please. But with all that talk about no longer needing an avatar, hey, guess what, a new threat is here, and only the Avatar can stop her. So if Amon is considered the best villain in the whole show, then Kuvira definitely takes second place. She feels like a result of the writers taking notes and learning from the last 3 seasons. She's not seen as bland as Unalaq, nor is she seen as attractive victim like Zahir. She's terrifying and determined like Amon, but her reasons for villainy are easy to get a grasp of.
And let me assure my fellow leaders of one thing. Anyone who crosses our borders or stands in our way will be crushed.
So yeah, Kuvira is a pretty good villain to wrap up the series with. But alas, now we must explain why she is the villain by breaking down her backstory as well as her methodology. So Kuvira used to be the head guard of a mill-bending city called Zaofu, led by Su Yin, Toph's daughter. After the Earth Queen's death, Su Yin is asked to take over, but she turns him down. Kuvira then becomes outraged by this, believing that Zaofu's progressive ideals should be spread to the rest of the world. Kuvira then leaves Zaofu to start an army to reunite the Earth Kingdom under her rule. And all of that would be great if the idea of one political party ruling over everyone wasn't the definition of a dictatorship.
Oh no!
I mean, she has her own army, she demands everyone call her by a fancy title, as opposed to Korra, who doesn't really care if you call her Avatar or not. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, she sent a giant robot rampaging through town like she was in a Michael Bay movie. That was probably a big one. And that, folks, is finally the end of the video. I'm real sorry this took longer than usual. I've been trying to expand the length of my videos. Anyways, be sure to subscribe below, let me know what you think of the video, and let me know if there are any other Avatar theories you want me to debunk. Theory debunked.